Picture this, it's a bright, sunny afternoon. The sky is blue, the birds are chirping, and 12-year-old Tim Grayson is busy. He's just a kid, but he's strong for his age. Right now, he's carrying the very last cardboard box into his brand new house. His arms are tired, and sweat is dripping down his face like little raindrops. It's hot outside, and that box feels heavy, but Tim doesn't care. He's grinning from ear to ear, showing all his teeth. Why? Because today is a big day. His family just moved into this quiet little neighborhood, and it's a fresh start, a new town, a new house, a new everything. To Tim, it feels like an adventure waiting to happen. The house isn't huge, but it's perfect for them. It's got a white front door, 2 big windows that look like friendly eyes, and a tiny porch where Tim imagines he'll sit with a glass of lemonade someday. The grass in the yard is a little wild, like it hasn't been cut in a while, but Tim likes it that way. It makes the place feel like a secret hideout. Inside, the floors creak a little when you walk, and the walls are bare because they haven't hung up pictures yet. Boxes are everywhere, stacked in the living room, piled in the kitchen, even blocking the stairs. It's messy, but it's exciting. This is their new home, and Tim can't wait to explore every corner. His mom, Lisa, is inside unpacking. She's got a big smile too, even though she's tired from driving the moving truck all morning. Tim's little sister, Mia, who's only 7, is bouncing around like a bunny, giggling and peeking into boxes. Tim, look. I found my teddy bear, she yells, holding up a fluffy brown bear with one missing eye. Tim laughs and keeps moving. His dad isn't here yet. He's still at the old house, finishing some stuff, but he'll come tomorrow. For now, it's just Tim, his mom, and Mia, settling into this new place. The neighborhood seems nice. It's quiet, with little houses all in a row. There's a big tree across the street with branches that sway in the wind, and a sidewalk where Tim can ride his bike once he unpacks it. He saw a kid about his age kicking a ball a few houses down when they pulled up, and he's already thinking about making a new friend. Everything feels good, like the start of something awesome. The sun is shining, the air smells like fresh grass, and Tim's got that happy buzzing feeling in his chest. What could go wrong? Well, hold on a second. Not everyone thinks this day is so great. See, Tim doesn't know it yet, but trouble is sneaking around, like a sneaky cat hiding in the bushes. It's watching him, waiting to pounce. While Tim's carrying that last box, something or someone is already sniffing around his front porch. He's too busy smiling to notice, but the air's about to change. This perfect little move-in day? It's not going to stay perfect for long. Let's rewind a bit so you can see how it all started. Tim's family used to live in a noisy town far away. It was loud, their cars honking all the time, people shouting, and not much space to play. Tim's mom wanted something better. She'd say, "We need a quiet place, a happy place." So, she found this house online. It was cheap, it looked cozy, and it was in a town where the streets were calm and the schools were good. She showed Tim pictures on her phone one night, pictures of the white door, the big windows, the wild grass. "What do you think, Tim?" she asked. He nodded fast. "Looks cool, Mom." Mia clapped her hands and said, "I want a room with stars." And just like that, they decided to move. Packing took forever. Tim had to stuff all his clothes, his soccer ball, his favorite books, and his beat-up skateboard into boxes. Mia kept sneaking toys into his stuff, and he'd pull out a doll or a rubber duck and groan, "Mia, stop it." But secretly, he didn't mind. His mom packed the kitchen stuff, plates, cups, that old blender that makes a funny noise. They sold some things they didn't need, like an ugly lamp and a wobbly chair. By the time they were done, their old house looked empty, and Tim felt a little sad saying goodbye. But then he thought about the new house, and the sadness turned into excitement. The drive to the new town was long, hours and hours in the moving truck. Tim sat up front with his mom, playing a game where he counted red cars. Mia slept in the back, hugging her teddy bear. When they finally turned onto their new street, the sun was high in the sky, and Tim's eyes got wide. "There it is," he shouted, pointing at the house from the pictures. It looked even better in real life. The truck stopped, and they all jumped out. Tim grabbed a box right away, ready to make this place theirs. "That's where we are now," Tim, hauling that last box up the porch steps. His sneakers squeak on the wood, and he pushes the door open with his shoulder. "Mom, I got the last one," he calls. She pokes her head out from the kitchen. "Great job, Tim. Put it by the couch." He drops it with a thud, wipes his sweaty hands on his shorts, and takes a big breath. The house smells like dust and old wood, but it's theirs. He looks around, imagining where his posters will go, where he'll kick his soccer ball, where he'll flop on the couch after school. It's all so new, so fun, so perfect. But here's the thing: trouble doesn't care about perfect. Trouble doesn't knock on the door and say, "Hi, can I come in?" Nope, it sneaks up when you're not looking. And right now, while Tim's grinning and dreaming about his new life, trouble's already here. It's not loud yet, it's quiet, like a shadow moving slow. Maybe it's the creak of a car door shutting down the street. Maybe it's the sound of boots crunching on gravel, too soft to hear. Maybe it's a pair of eyes watching from behind a tree. Tim doesn't see it. His mom doesn't hear it. Mia's too busy with her teddy bear to care. But it's there, and it's coming closer. Let's zoom out for a second. This neighborhood isn't just any place. It's got secrets, little ones and big ones. Most people here are nice. There's Mrs. Jenkins next door, who waves with a big smile, and the kid with the ball Tim saw earlier. But not everyone's so friendly. Some people don't like new faces. Some people think they own more than they do. And some people? They're up to no good. Tim's family doesn't know that yet. They're too busy unpacking, too happy to think about anything going wrong. But you and I? We're about to find out what's hiding in the shadows. Imagine you're Tim for a minute. You've got your new house, your boxes, your big plans. You're sweaty and tired, but you're pumped. You're thinking about riding your bike tomorrow, maybe kicking your ball in the yard. Then, out of nowhere, someone says, "Hey, this isn't your house. Get out." What would you do? Would you laugh, thinking it's a joke? Would you get mad? Would you run inside and tell your mom? Stick with me, because that's exactly what's brewing for Tim. Someone's about to try taking his home before he even unpacks that last box. Let's set the scene a little more. The sun's still up, but it's getting lower now, painting the sky orange and pink. Tim's standing on the porch, hands on his hips, looking out at the street. It's quiet, too quiet, maybe. No cars are driving by. No dogs are barking. It's peaceful, but there's a funny feeling in the air, like when you know a storm's coming even though the sky's clear. Tim doesn't feel it yet, he's too busy being happy. He turns to go inside, ready to grab a snack and help his mom unpack the kitchen. The box he just carried sits by the couch, full of his stuff: his soccer ball, his favorite hoodie, a comic book about superheroes. He's got no clue what's about to hit. Down the street, something moves. It's slow at first, like it doesn't want to be seen. A rusty old van creeps along, its engine rumbling soft. The windows are dark, so you can't see who's inside. It stops 2 houses away, behind that big tree Tim likes. The door creaks open, and a boot hits the ground. Then another. 2 guys step out, dressed in weird clothes: dark shirts, badges pinned on sloppy, hats that don't fit right. They look funny, like they're playing dress up, but their faces aren't smiling. One's tall and skinny, with a pointy nose. The other's shorter, with a scruffy beard. They whisper to each other, pointing at Tim's house. What are they up to? Why are they here? Tim's still inside now, digging through a box for a bag of chips. His mom's humming a song in the kitchen, and Mia's talking to her teddy bear like it's alive. The house feels warm, safe, happy. But outside, those 2 guys are walking closer. Their boots crunch on the gravel path that leads to the porch. They're quiet, but not quiet enough. A bird flies off a branch, startled. The wind picks up, rustling the wild grass. Trouble's here, and it's about to knock. Here's the kicker: what would you do if someone tried to take your home, your brand new home, before you even unpacked? Would you fight? Would you hide? Would you figure out a way to stop them? Tim's about to find out what he'd do, and it's going to get wild. Stick with me, because this story's just getting started, and you won't believe what happens next. The next morning, the sun is shining bright again. Tim's already up and out in the backyard, kicking his soccer ball against the wooden fence. Thump, 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 it bounces back every time, and he grins. He loves that sound. The backyard isn't big, just a patch of grass with a rickety old fence around it, but it's his now. He's wearing his favorite red sneakers, the ones with holes in the toes, and a blue t-shirt that's a little sweaty already. It's warm out, and the air smells like dirt and flowers. Tim's happy he slept in his new room last night, and even though it's still full of boxes, it feels like home. Inside, his mom, Lisa, is making breakfast. She's got pancakes sizzling on a pan, and the yummy smell drifts out the back door. Mia, Tim's little sister, is sitting on the porch steps, drawing with chalk pink stars and yellow flowers all over the wood. Everything feels good, like the day before when they moved in. Tim kicks the ball harder, imagining he's a soccer star scoring the winning goal. He doesn't hear anything weird yet. He's too busy having fun. But then, something changes. The birds stop chirping. The wind gets quiet. Tim doesn't notice at first he's chasing the ball after it bounces funny, but then he hears boots crunching on gravel. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He stops, holding the ball under his arm, and turns around. Two guys are walking up to the house. They're coming from the street, right toward the backyard gate. Tim squints at them, curious. Who are they? These guys look strange. They're dressed in uniforms, but not like real cops or anything cool. Their shirts are dark green, wrinkled, and too big like they grabbed them from someone else's closet. They've got badges pinned on, but the badges are crooked, like they stuck them on with tape. Their hats are floppy and way too big, sliding down over their eyes. Tim thinks they look like they raided a costume shop, like kids playing pretend. One guy's tall and skinny, with a pointy nose and a smirk. The other's shorter, with a scruffy beard and a goofy laugh. They don't look friendly. Tim's mom, Lisa, hears the noise too. She steps outside, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Her hair's messy from cooking, and she's still in her pajamas, pink ones with little hearts on them. She looks at the guys and says, "Can I help you?" Her voice is nice, polite, but her eyes are confused. She doesn't know these people. Neither does Tim. Mia stops drawing and peeks up, hugging her chalk-covered hands to her chest. The tall guy, he's the leader, Tim can tell, steps forward. Let's call him Buzz, because his voice sounds buzzy, like a bee. He smirks, showing yellow teeth, and says, "Ma'am, this house is abandoned. Been empty for months. You're trespassing." His words hit like a slap. Lisa blinks, her mouth open a little. "Excuse me," she says, her voice getting higher. "We just moved in yesterday." She points at the house, like that proves it. The boxes are still inside, the moving truck's tire marks are in the driveway, how can they not see? Buzz doesn't care. He crosses his arms, making his badge wobble. "No record of that," he says, all smug. "You've got 24 hours to clear out, or we're locking it up." His buddy, the short one, chuckles, like it's the funniest thing ever. He's got a laugh like a hiccup, sharp and loud. "Yep, 24 hours, he echoes, nodding so hard his hat almost falls off. They stand there, acting like they own the place. Tim's watching all this from the porch now. He climbed up the steps quiet, his soccer ball still in his hands. His stomach feels twisty, like when he ate too much candy once and got sick. These guys don't even look real. Their badges are shiny plastic, Tim can see them glint in the sun, and they don't have numbers or anything official. Buzz keeps tugging at his pants, which are so tight they look like they might rip. The short guy's shirt has a ketchup stain on it, all crusty and red. Who are they? Why are they saying this stuff? Lisa's rattled. Tim can tell because her hands shake a little as she holds the towel. She's new here, she doesn't know who to call or what to do. "This is our house," she says, trying to sound strong. "We signed papers. We paid for it." Buzz just shrugs. "Not what we heard," he says. "This place has been empty. You're squatting." That word squatting sounds mean, like Lisa's a thief or something. She's not. Tim knows she's not. Mia tugs at Lisa's pajama leg. "Mommy, who are they?" she whispers, her big eyes scared. Lisa pats her head but doesn't answer. She's staring at Buzz, trying to figure him out. Tim's staring too. Something's off, he can feel it in his gut. These guys aren't right. They're acting tough, but they look fake. Like actors in a bad play. But Lisa's worried, and that makes Tim worried too. Buzz pulls out a clipboard from nowhere. It's old and scratched, with a piece of paper clipped on all messy. He waves it like it's important. Says here this house is on our list, he says. Abandoned property. HOA rules. Tim doesn't know what HOA means, but it sounds official. Lisa frowns. What's HOA? She asks. Buzz smirks again. Homeowners Association security, he says, like it's a big deal. We keep this neighborhood safe. And this house? It's not yours. Tim's getting mad now. His hands squeeze the soccer ball tight. This is their house. They moved in yesterday. He carried the boxes himself. He slept in his room last night, on a mattress on the floor because his bed's still in pieces. Mia's teddy bear is inside, and his mom's pancakes are on the stove. How can these guys say it's abandoned? It's not empty, it's full of their stuff, their life. Lisa takes a step forward. Look, she says, her voice shaky but firm. We have proof. I can show you the papers. We bought this house. Buzz doesn't even blink. Don't care, he says. Our records say different. 24 hours, lady. His buddy laughs again, that hiccup laugh, and kicks a rock on the ground like he's bored. They turn to leave, walking back toward the gate, their boots crunching loud. Tim runs to his mom's side. Mom, they're lying, he whispers. They don't look real. Lisa nods, but her face is pale. I don't know, Tim, she says soft. They sound so sure. She's scared. She's never dealt with anything like this before. Back in their old town, no one bothered them. Here, on day 2, these weird guys show up. It doesn't make sense. Tim watches the guys go. They climb into a rusty van parked down the street, the same one he saw yesterday, hiding behind the big tree. The engine grumbles, and they drive off slow, like they're not in a hurry. Tim's heart beats fast. What if they come back? What if they lock the house like they said? He looks at his mom. She's biting her lip, thinking hard. I'll call someone, she says finally. Maybe the real estate lady. She'll know what to do. But Tim's not so sure. Those guys didn't act like they'd wait for phone calls. They acted like they owned everything: the house, the yard, even the air. He kicks his soccer ball again, soft this time, and it rolls into the grass. His happy morning is gone. Now it's all twisty and weird. Mia's still on the steps, drawing slow now, her stars looking sad. Lisa goes inside, muttering about finding her phone. Tim stays out, staring at the gate where the guys left. What would you do if some fake cops tried to bully you out of your own house? Tim's thinking about that now. Would you yell at them? Would you run inside and lock the door? Would you try to figure out who they really are? Tim doesn't know yet, but he's not happy. Those guys made his mom scared, and that makes him mad. He's just a kid, but he's smart. He notices stuff like how Buzz's badge looked like a toy, or how the short guy's laugh sounded fake too. The day goes on, but it's not fun anymore. Lisa's on the phone inside, talking fast to someone. Mia's drawing turns into scribbles, and she keeps asking, "Are we in trouble, Tim?" He says no, but he's not sure. The sun's still up, but it feels different, like it's watching, waiting. Tim picks up his ball and sits on the porch, keeping an eye on the street. Those guys said 24 hours. That means tomorrow morning. What happens then? He thinks about the house, their house. The white door, the big windows, the creaky floors. It's not abandoned. It's alive with them. But Buzz and his buddy don't care. They're coming back, and Tim can feel it. His stomach twists again, harder this time. Something's wrong, really wrong. And he's starting to wonder, what if they're not real cops? What if there's something else? Tim's still sitting on the porch, hugging his soccer ball tight. The street's empty now, no rusty van, no weird guys in fake uniforms. Just quiet. Too quiet, maybe. The sun's climbing higher, making the porch wood warm under his legs. He looks at the gate where Buzz and his buddy walked away. 24 hours, they said. That's one whole day. But it doesn't feel like enough time. His mom's inside, talking fast on the phone, and Mia's chalk scribbles are all messy now, like she's nervous too. Tim's stomach keeps twisting, like a knot he can't untie. He thinks about what just happened. Those guys, Buzz with his buzzy voice and the short one with the hiccup laugh, didn't act normal. Real cops don't wear floppy hats or plastic badges, right? Tim's seen cops on TV, and they're serious, with shiny metal badges and neat uniforms. These guys looked like they were playing a game, but it wasn't fun. They scared his mom, and that's not okay. Tim's only 12, but he's not dumb. Something's fishy, and he's starting to smell it. Inside, Lisa's voice gets louder. No, we moved in yesterday. I have the papers, she says into the phone. Tim peeks through the screen door. She's pacing the kitchen, her pajama sleeve rolled up, her face all red. The pancakes are cold on the stove now, forgotten. Yes, they said HOA security, she adds. They told us to leave in 24 hours. Whoever's on the phone must be asking questions, because Lisa keeps nodding and saying, uh-huh, uh-huh. Tim hopes it's the real estate lady, the one who sold them the house. Maybe she can fix this. Mia crawls over to Tim, her chalky hands leaving pink smears on the porch. Tim, are those guys bad? She asks, her voice tiny. Her big eyes look up at him, waiting for an answer. He wants to say no, to make her feel better, but he's not sure. I don't know, Mia, he says instead. They're weird, though. She nods, like that makes sense, and goes back to her scribbles. Tim watches her draw a big red X over her stars. It makes him feel worse. He stands up, soccer ball under his arm, and walks to the edge of the porch. The backyard's still there, grass, fence, the ball marks where he was kicking. It looks normal, but it doesn't feel normal anymore. Those guys ruined it? Tim thinks about Buzz's smirk, his yellow teeth, the way he said trespassing like it was a dirty word. And the short guys laugh heek 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 like a cartoon villain. They didn't even listen when Lisa said it's their house. Why not? What's their deal? Tim's mind spins. Maybe they're robbers, he thinks. But robbers take stuff and run, they don't tell you to leave. Maybe they're lost, and they got the wrong house. But Buzz had that clipboard, and he pointed at their house, not the one next door. Maybe they're crazy. That could be it, two crazy guys in costumes, wandering around. But they didn't seem crazy. They seemed mean. Like they wanted to scare Lisa on purpose. He kicks a pebble off the porch. It bounces into the grass, and he wishes he could kick Buzz instead. His mom's still on the phone, and now she's saying, okay, I'll find them. Thanks. She hangs up and comes to the door, rubbing her forehead. Tim, the real estate lady says there's no HOA security here, she says. Her voice is tired. She's never heard of them. She told me to call the police if they come back. Tim's eyes get wide. So they're fake, he asks. Lisa shrugs. I don't know. Maybe. She said the neighborhood doesn't have any security like that. Tim feels a little spark in his chest, like he was right all along. I told you, Mom. Their badges look dumb. Lisa gives a small smile, but it's shaky. Yeah, you're smart, Tim. But I'm still worried. What if they mean it? What if they lock us out? That idea makes Tim's stomach twist harder. Lock them out? Of their own house? He pictures Buzz slapping a big chain on the white front door, that smirk on his face, while Tim and his mom and Mia stand outside with their boxes, nowhere to go. It's a bad picture, and it makes him mad all over again. They can't do that, he says, his voice loud. It's ours. Lisa nods, but her eyes are far away, like she's not so sure. The day keeps going, but it's all wrong now. Lisa starts digging through boxes, looking for the house papers. I know they're here somewhere, she mutters. Tim helps, pulling out pots and clothes and old toys. Mia sits on the couch, hugging her teddy bear, watching them. Are we moving again? She asks. Lisa stops and kneels next to her. No, sweetie, she says soft. This is our home. We're staying. But Tim hears the worry in her voice, and it sticks to him like glue. Outside, the sun's getting lower. Shadows stretch across the yard, making the fence look tall and spooky. Tim keeps glancing out the window, waiting for that rusty van to roll back. What if they come tonight? What if they sneak up while everyone's asleep? He shakes his head. No, they said 24 hours. That's tomorrow morning. But can he trust them? They're liars, he's pretty sure. Liars don't follow rules. He goes back to the porch, sitting with his ball again. The street's still quiet, no kids, no cars, just the big tree swaying a little. Tim thinks about the van hiding behind that tree yesterday. Were Buzz and his buddy watching then too? Before they even moved in? The idea creeps him out, like ants crawling up his arms. He hugs the ball tighter and tries to think of something else like soccer or pancakes, but it doesn't work. Those guys are stuck in his head. Lisa calls him inside for lunch, cold pancakes with syrup. Tim eats, but he doesn't taste much. Mia picks at hers, making a syrup puddle on her plate. "Mommy, are the bad guys coming back?" she asks. Lisa sighs. "I hope not, Mia. But if they do, we'll be ready." Tim looks at her. "How?" he asks. She shrugs again. "I'll call the police. And we've got the papers, I found them." She holds up a folder, all official looking with stamps and signatures. "This proves it's ours." Tim nods, but he's not happy. Papers are great, but what if Buzz doesn't care? What if he just laughs that buzzy laugh and locks the door anyway? Tim's seen bullies at school, they don't listen to teachers sometimes. These guys feel like grown-up bullies, and that's scarier. He finishes his pancake and goes to his room, well, the room that's his now. It's still messy, with boxes and his mattress on the floor. He flops down and stares at the ceiling, thinking. The ceiling's got little cracks, like spider webs. Tim traces them with his eyes, trying to calm down. He thinks about his old house, nobody bothered them there. Why here? Why now? He remembers the real estate lady's voice on the phone, no HOA security. So who are these guys? Pretenders? Thieves? He doesn't know, but he hates them already. They made his mom shake, made Mia scared, made his new house feel not safe. Hours pass. The sun's almost gone now, and the sky's turning purple. Lisa's on the couch, reading the house papers over and over, like they're a magic shield. Mia's asleep next to her, teddy bear squished under her arm. Tim's back on the porch, soccer ball in his lap. He's keeping watch, even though his eyes are heavy. The street's dark, just a few porch lights glowing. No van. No boots crunching. But Tim knows 24 hours isn't up yet. Tomorrow's coming fast. He thinks about what he'd do if they come back. Yell. Run. Kick his ball at Buzz's smirky face? He's not big or strong like his dad, but he's fast. Maybe he could sneak around, spy on them. He's good at being quiet. He used to hide from Mia during hide and seek and win every time. The thought makes him feel a little better, like he's not helpless. But still, his stomach's all knots. What would you do if fake cops tried to bully you out of your house? Tim's asking himself that over and over. He doesn't have an answer yet, but he's not giving up. Those guys picked the wrong kid to mess with. Tomorrow's gonna be wild, he can feel it. Days pass, and those creepy HOA cops don't give up. Every afternoon, like clockwork, they show up at Tim's house. The sun's still up, the sky's all orange and pink, and there they are, Buzz and his short buddy, stomping up to the front porch. Bang, bang, bang. They slam their fists on the white door, loud enough to make Mia jump. Tim's mom, Lisa, peeks out the window first, her face all tight and worried. She doesn't open the door anymore, not after that first day. But the guys don't care. They yell stuff like, "You're still here? Get out," and leave nasty notes taped to the door. The notes are scribbled in messy handwriting, big black letters that say, "Vacate," or else. Whatever vacate means, it sounds bad. Tim's starting to notice stuff, little things that make his brain tick. He's 12, not a baby, and he's good at watching people. Like how Buzz always parks his rusty van 2 streets over, behind some trees, like he's hiding it. Tim sees it every time they leave. The van's old and dented, with a squeaky door that creaks when it opens. Why not park closer? Why sneak around? It's weird. Another thing, they never answer when Lisa asks for paperwork. She'll crack the door open sometimes and say, "Show me proof this house isn't ours." Buzz just smirks, adjusts his floppy hat, and says, "We don't need to show you nothing." His buddy laughs that hiccup laugh, heek heek heek, and they walk off. No papers, no proof, just big talk. Tim's getting suspicious. He whispers to his mom one day, while they're eating cereal in the kitchen. "I don't think they're real, Mom," he says, his spoon dripping milk. Lisa looks at him, her eyes tired. She's got bags under them now, she's not sleeping good. "I hope you're right, Tim," she says soft. "But they scare me." She's scared, yet Tim can tell. She keeps the curtains closed all the time, and she jumps when the phone rings. Mia's scared too. She doesn't draw on the porch anymore, just stays inside hugging her teddy bear. The house doesn't feel fun now. It feels like a cage. But Tim's not just scared, he's mad. Those guys are bullies, picking on his family for no reason. He's starting to think they're fakes, like costumes at Halloween. Their badges are plastic, their uniforms don't fit, and they act too cocky, like they're hiding something. He's got a hunch, and it's growing bigger every day. He doesn't tell his mom everything yet, she's got enough worries. But he's watching, waiting, looking for clues. A few days go by, maybe 3 or 4. The HOA cops keep coming. One time, Buzz brings a big hammer, swinging it like he's gonna smash something. "Last warning," he shouts, banging the hammer on the porch railing. Crack! A piece of wood chips off, and Mia cries inside. Lisa yells through the door, "Leave us alone. I'm calling the police." Buzz just laughs. "Go ahead, lady," he says. "They won't care." His buddy kicks the steps, thud, thud, and they leave another note, "Time's up." Lisa doesn't call the police, though. She's too nervous, and she keeps saying, "What if they're real? What if we're wrong?" Tim's not buying it. He's seen enough. That night, after dinner, mac and cheese from a box, he makes a plan. It's a wild plan, a brave one, and it makes his heart thump loud. He waits till it's dark. The house is quiet. Lisa's on the couch, reading those house papers again, her glasses slipping down her nose. Mia's asleep, snoring soft with her teddy bear. Tim's supposed to be in bed, but he's not tired. He's buzzing, like he drank too much soda. He grabs his phone from his room, it's an old one, with a cracked screen, but the camera works. He slips on his red sneakers, pulls his hoodie over his head, and sneaks out the back door. The air's cool outside, and the stars are twinkling. The backyard's dark, just shadows and the creaky fence. Tim's no detective, he's just a kid, but he's got guts. He's tired of waiting, tired of being scared. If those guys are fake, he's gonna prove it. He creeps around the side of the house, staying low so Lisa doesn't see him through the window. His sneakers crunch on the gravel, but he's quiet as a mouse. He's good at sneaking, he used to win hide and seek all the time against Mia. This is bigger, though. This is real. He gets to the front yard and ducks behind a bush. It's scratchy, poking his arms, but he doesn't care. He peeks out, looking down the street. The rusty van's there 2 streets over, like always. It's parked under a big tree, half hidden in the dark. Tim squints and sees Buzz and his buddy standing by it. They're not banging on the door now, they're just talking, leaning against the van like they're chilling. Tim's heart races. This is his chance. He pulls out his phone, hands shaky, and turns on the camera. No flash, he's not dumb. He zooms in, holding his breath. Buzz is messing with his uniform, tugging at that crooked badge. Then holy cow, Buzz peels it off. He rips the badge right off his shirt, like it's a sticker, and tosses it into the van. It lands with a tiny clink on the floor. Tim's eyes go wide. He taps the photo button, click, and gets it. A picture of Buzz, no badge, smirking like he's proud. Bingo. Tim's heart's pounding so loud he's sure they'll hear it. But they don't. Buzz says something to his buddy, Tim can't hear it, he's too far, and the short guy laughs that hiccup laugh. They're acting normal, like they're not scared of anything. Tim takes another pic, click, of the van's license plate. It's dirty, but he can read it, X7K992. He doesn't know what it means, but it feels important. He's shaking now, but not from cold, it's excitement. This is proof. Those guys aren't real cops, they're fakes, just like he thought. He stays in the bush, watching. Buzz pulls out a sandwich from the van, ham and cheese, it looks like, and takes a big bite. Crumbs fall on his shirt, and he doesn't care. The short guy's got a soda, slurping it loud. They're not in a hurry. They don't know Tim's there, snapping pics, catching them. Each day, they've been getting cockier, banging harder, yelling louder, acting like they've already won. They think Lisa's too scared to fight, that Tim's just a dumb kid who doesn't matter. But they're wrong. Little do they know, the kid they ignored is about to flip the game. Tim waits till they finish eating. His legs are cramping from crouching, but he doesn't move. Buzz wipes his hands on his pants gross and climbs into the van. The short guy follows, still sipping his soda. The engine grumbles, and they drive off slow, headlights cutting through the dark. Tim stays put till they're gone, then sneaks back inside. His hoodie's full of leaves, and his sneakers are muddy, but he's grinning. He did it. Back in his room, he checks the pics. They're blurry, but good enough. Buzz with no badge, the van's plate, the two of them looking dumb. He hides the phone under his pillow and flops on his mattress. His heart's still racing, but he feels strong. He's got something now, something big. Those guys don't know he's onto them, and that's his superpower. He's not just some kid anymore. He's a secret spy. The next day, they're back. Bang, bang, bang. Another note, out now. But Tim's not scared this time. He whispers to Lisa, "I've got proof they're fake." She looks at him, surprised. "What proof?" He grins. "You'll see." He's not showing her yet, he wants to be sure. But each bang on the door makes him surer. These guys think they're winning. They're wrong. Tim's got a plan brewing, and it's gonna be awesome. Friday rolls around, and the air feels heavy, like a storm's about to hit. The sun's up, but it's hiding behind some gray clouds, making everything look dull. Tim's been counting the days, 5 days since those fake HOA cops first showed up. 5 days of banging on the door, nasty notes, and his mom's worried face. But today feels different. Today's the day they said they'd lock the house 24 hours from yesterday's last note. Tim's ready, though. He's got a secret up his sleeve, and he's buzzing inside like a beehive. Inside the house, Lisa's a mess. She's on the phone with a lawyer she found in the phone book, some guy named Mr. Carter with a loud voice. She's pacing the living room, her socks sliding on the creaky floor. "Yes, they've been here every day," she says, her words fast and shaky. "They're coming with a lock today, I don't know what to do." Mr. Carter's voice booms through the phone, but Tim can't hear what he's saying. Lisa's panicking, her hands are trembling, and her eyes are wide. She keeps looking out the window, waiting for trouble. Mia's on the couch, hugging her teddy bear tight, her little face all scrunched up. "Mommy, are they taking our house?" she whispers. Lisa doesn't answer, she's too busy talking. Outside, Tim hears it first: crunch, crunch, crunch. Boots on gravel. His heart jumps, but he's not scared. He's calm as ice, like a superhero before the big fight. He grabs his phone from his pocket, the old one with the cracked screen, and steps to the front door. He's been waiting for this. All week, he's watched Buzz and his buddy get cockier, thinking they've won. But Tim's got proof now, those pictures from the other night, the ones of Buzz tossing his fake badge. He's ready to turn it all around. He opens the door just as Buzz steps onto the porch. The tall guy's got a big padlock in his hand, shiny silver, dangling from a thick chain. It's huge, like something you'd use on a pirate treasure chest. Buzz is smirking, his yellow teeth showing, and his floppy hat's tilted to one side. His buddy's behind him, hiccup laughing already, holding a hammer like he's gonna smash something. "Time's up, kid," Buzz says, his voice all buzzy and mean. "We're locking this place today. Get your stuff and go." He swings the padlock like a toy, clinking the chain loud. Lisa hears it from inside and yells, "No, you can't." She's still on the phone, clutching it tight. "Mr. Carter, they're here now with a lock." Her voice is high, almost a scream. Buzz laughs, a big ugly laugh, and steps closer to the door. "Tell your lawyer it's too late," he says. "This house is ours now." His buddy bangs the hammer on the porch railing, crack, and a splinter flies off. Mia squeaks from the couch, burying her face in her bear. But Tim. He's not moving. He's standing right there, in front of Buzz, his sneakers planted firm on the porch. He's shorter than Buzz, way shorter, but he's not backing down. He holds up his phone like it's a weapon, his thumb on the screen. "Hey, Buzz," he says, loud and clear, so everyone can hear. "Smile for the camera." His voice cuts through the air, sharp and steady. Lisa stops talking. Buzz freezes, his smirk slipping a little. The short guy blinks, hammer still in his hand. Even Mia peeks up, her eyes big. Buzz squints at Tim. "What are you talking about, kid?" he growls, but there's a tiny shake in his voice now. Tim doesn't answer with words, he just taps his phone. The screen lights up, and a video starts playing. It's loud, clear as day, even in the sunlight. There's Buzz, from 2 nights ago, standing by his rusty van. He's peeling off his plastic badge, laughing that buzzy laugh. "Another sucker scammed," he says on the video, tossing the badge into the van like trash. "Easiest job yet." His buddy's hiccup laugh comes through too, heek heek heek, right there on the screen. Buzz's face goes white, like he's seen a ghost. His mouth drops open, and the padlock slips a little in his hand. The short guy gasps, "Where'd you get that?" and takes a step back. Tim grins his big, toothy grin and holds the phone higher. "Got this the other night," he says. "You didn't see me, huh? Too busy eating your sandwich." He's calm, but inside, his heart's pounding like a drum. This is it, the big moment. Lisa drops the phone. Mr. Carter's still talking, but she doesn't care. She runs to the door, staring at Tim. "You filmed them," she whispers, her eyes huge. Tim nods. "Yep. They're fakes, Mom. I told you." Buzz shakes his head, fast, like he's trying to wake up from a bad dream. That's nothing," he stammers. "You can't prove," but Tim cuts him off. "Oh, I'm not done," he says, grinning wider. He steps forward, right up to Buzz, and keeps going. "I called the real HOA yesterday," he says, his voice loud and proud. "Guess what? They've never heard of you. No HOA security here. You're liars." Buzz's eyes dart around, like he's looking for a way out. His buddy drops the hammer clunk, and backs up more, almost tripping over the steps. "And," Tim adds, "cops are on the way. I called them too." Right then, perfect timing, tires screech down the street. Red and blue lights flash, cutting through the cloudy day. 2 police cars zoom up, gravel flying, and stop right in front of the house. Doors slam open, and 4 cops jump out, hands on their belts. "Freeze," one yells, a big guy with a deep voice. Buzz drops the padlock clang, and it rolls off the porch into the grass. His buddy bolts, running fast toward the rusty van 2 streets over. "Stop him," another cop shouts, and 2 officers chase after him, boots pounding. Tim's still standing there, phone in hand, watching it all. Buzz looks like he's gonna faint. His face is white, then red, then white again. "This is a mistake," he yells, but his voice is wobbly now. The big cop grabs his arm. "Yeah, your mistake," he says. "We've been looking for you too." Lisa's behind Tim now, her hands on his shoulders, squeezing tight. "Tim, you did this," she whispers. He nods, still grinning. "Told you I had proof." The cops are fast. They cuff Buzz's hands behind his back, click, click, and shove him toward the car. The other 2 catch the short guy by the van. He's panting, soda can still in his hand, looking dumb. "You're under arrest," the big cop says to Buzz. "Scamming folks out of their homes. That's low." Tim tilts his head. "Scamming?" he asks. The cop nods. "Yep. These jokers have been faking it for months, pretending to be HOA, scaring people out, then squatting in the houses. You're not their first." Tim's jaw drops. Months. Other houses. He didn't know it was that big. He just wanted them gone from his house. Lisa gasps. "They've done this before." The cop nods again. "Yeah, but this kid stopped him." He points at Tim, smiling a little. "Good work, son." Tim's chest puffs up. He feels 10 feet tall. Neighbors start peeking out now. Mrs. Jenkins next door, the kid with the ball down the street. They're all watching, whispering, pointing at the police cars. Buzz is yelling as they shove him in the back seat. "This ain't fair. We didn't do nothing." But no one's listening. The short guy's already caught, cuffed, and whining about his soda spilling. The cops don't care, they've got him. Tim turns off his phone and slips it in his pocket. The video's done its job. Lisa hugs him tight, almost squishing him. "You're amazing, Tim," she says, her voice all wobbly but happy. Mia runs out, teddy bear dragging, and hugs his legs. "You're a hero," she squeaks. Tim laughs. "Guess so." He didn't expect this police, arrests, all that. He just wanted to save his house. But wow, who saw this coming? The cops take Buzz and his buddy away, lights flashing as they drive off. The padlock still in the grass, glinting like a leftover toy. Tim picks it up, heavy in his hand, and tosses it into a bush. Good riddance. The clouds start to break, and a little sun peeks out, warming the porch. It's over. They're safe. And Tim? He's the kid who flipped the game. The cops move fast. Buzz doesn't have a chance to run. The big cop with the deep voice grabs his arms and twists them behind his back. Click, click, the handcuffs snap on tight. Buzz's face is all red now, not white anymore, and he's yelling, "Let me go. You got the wrong guy." But the cops don't listen. They drag him off the porch, his boots scraping the wood, and one of his fake badges falls off his shirt. It clatters to the ground, plink, shiny plastic bouncing on the steps. Tim watches it roll and stop by his sneaker. He kicks it into the grass. Good riddance. The short guy's already caught too. The other two cops tackled him by the rusty van, and he's whining loud. "My soda spilled," he cries, like that's the worst part. His hands are cuffed too, and his hiccup laugh is gone, just a scared little squeak now. The cops shove both of them into the back of the police cars. Buzz bangs his head on the door as he gets in, ouch, and glares out the window. Tim stares back, arms crossed, not scared one bit. The car doors slam shut, and the red and blue lights flash bright as they drive away. Tires crunch on gravel, and then they're gone. Neighbors start peeking out now. Mrs. Jenkins from next door opens her screen door slow, her gray hair poking out. Her jaw drops when she sees the police cars disappearing down the street. Across the road, the kid with the ball Tommy, Tim thinks his name is, stands on his lawn, eyes huge. A lady in a pink robe a few houses down steps onto her porch, holding a coffee mug, staring like she can't believe it. They all look at Tim's house, whispering to each other. What happened? Who's that kid? Cops? Here. Tim can hear bits and pieces, and it makes him feel big. Lisa runs out the door and grabs Tim in a hug so tight he can't breathe. Her arms squeeze his shoulders, and her face is pressed into his hair. "You saved us," she whispers, her voice all soft and shaky. She's not crying, but her eyes are wet, and she's smiling a real smile, not the worried ones from before. Tim hugs her back, his cheek squished against her shirt. "I had to, Mom," he says. "They were jerks." She laughs a little, a happy sound, and lets go just enough to look at him. "You're so brave," she says. "My brave boy." Mia bounces out next, her teddy bear dragging behind her. She wraps her little arms around Tim's legs and yells, "You're the best, Tim." Her voice is loud and squeaky, and she's grinning so big her missing tooth shows. Tim pats her head, messing up her hair. "Thanks, Mia," he says. She giggles and runs back inside, probably to tell her teddy bear all about it. The porch feels warm now, even with the clouds still up there. The bad guys are gone, and the house is quiet again, safe quiet, not scary quiet. Tim looks around. The padlock's still in the bush where he tossed it, half hidden by leaves. The splintered railing from the hammer looks funny now, not mean. The nasty notes are still taped to the door, "Vacate or else," in big, ugly letters, but they don't matter anymore. Lisa pulls them down, one by one, and crumples them into balls. "Trash," she says, tossing them into the grass. Tim grins. "Yeah, trash like Buzz." She nods, and they both laugh. A little while later, a blue car pulls up. It's not rusty or sneaky like the van, it's clean and normal looking. A lady steps out, wearing a skirt and a name tag that says HOA, Susan. She's got short brown hair and a clipboard, not a scratched up one like Buzz's, but a nice one with neat papers. She walks up to the porch, her shoes clicking on the path. "Hi," she says, smiling but looking nervous. "I'm from the real HOA. Are you the Graysons?" Lisa nods, still holding a crumpled note. "Yeah, that's us." Susan's face goes red. "I'm so sorry," she says fast. "We heard what happened, those fake guys. We had no clue this was going on." She's waving her hands, like she's super upset. We're the homeowners association, but we don't have security like that. Those men, they weren't us. I promise. Lisa tilts her head. Then who were they? Susan sighs big. Crooks, she says. The police called us after they arrested them. They've been pretending to be HOA, scaring people out of houses, then living in them. Squatters. Tim blinks. Squatters, he asks. Susan nods. Yeah, people who sneak into empty houses and stay there. But your house wasn't empty, you just moved in. They picked the wrong family this time. She looks at Tim and smiles. The cops said a kid caught them. Was that you? Tim's chest puffs up again. Yep, he says, grinning. I got video of them being fakes. Susan's eyes get wide. Wow, that's amazing. You're a hero. Lisa puts her arm around Tim. He sure is, she says. Susan keeps talking, all excited now. Turns out, they hit 3 other houses before this 3 families scared away. But you stopped them cold, Tim. No one else figured it out. Tim's jaw drops a little. 3 houses. That's a lot. He didn't know Buzz and his buddy were that bad. He just wanted them gone from his house. Now he feels even bigger, like a real superhero. Susan keeps apologizing. We should have known something was up, she says. We'll make sure this never happens again. If you need anything at all, just call us. She hands Lisa a card with her name and number on it. And, she adds, we're gonna fix that railing for free. She points at the splintered wood. Lisa smiles. Thanks, she says. That's nice. Susan waves and heads back to her car, still shaking her head like she can't believe it. The rest of the day feels good. The clouds go away, and the sun comes out full, making the grass sparkle. Lisa makes hot dogs for lunch, Tim's favorite, and they eat on the porch. Mia's back to drawing with chalk, making happy stars again, not sad scribbles. Tim kicks his soccer ball around the yard, and it feels like the first day again, new and fun. The house isn't a cage anymore. It's home for good. Word spreads fast. By dinner, neighbors start showing up. Mrs. Jenkins brings cookies, chocolate chip, still warm. Heard you caught some bad guys, she says, winking at Tim. Good job, kiddo. Tommy, the ball kid, rides his bike over and stares at Tim like he's famous. You really got him arrested, he asks. Tim nods. Yep, with my phone. Tommy whistles. Cool. The lady in the pink robe drops by too, with a big grin. You're the talk of the block, she says. We're calling you the kid who caught the crooks. Tim laughs. The kid who caught the crooks, he repeats. It's a long name, but he likes it. Not bad for a 12-year-old, huh? He's just a kid, short, skinny, with holy sneakers, but he did something huge. Lisa hears the nickname and ruffles his hair. It fits, she says. My little crook catcher. Mia giggles. Crook catcher Tim, she chants, bouncing around. It sticks, and Tim doesn't mind one bit. That night, the house feels different. Tim's room still has boxes, but he unpacks his soccer ball poster and sticks it on the wall. The creaky floors don't scare him now, they're just part of home. Lisa hangs a picture in the living room, her, Tim, and Mia smiling at the old house. New start, she says, stepping back to look at it. Mia's asleep already, teddy bear safe beside her. The windows are open, letting in cool air, and the streets quiet, no vans, no bangs, just crickets chirping. Tim lies on his mattress, staring at the ceiling cracks. He thinks about Buzz's face, white, then red, then gone. He thinks about the cops, the neighbors, the nickname. He stopped something big, not just for his family, but for others too. 3 houses before his. That's 3 families who lost their homes. But not anymore. He grins in the dark. The Grayson house is theirs, and no one's taking it away. The next day, life's back to normal but better. Tim rides his bike with Tommy, who keeps asking, what did they look like? Were you scared? Tim tells the story, Buzz's smirk, the video, the flashing lights, and Tommy's eyes get bigger every time. Mrs. Jenkins waves from her porch, cookies in hand. The lady in the pink robe yells, hey, crook catcher, as he pedals by. Even the real HOA sends a guy to fix the railing. Bang, 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 but nice bangs this time. The house looks happy again, white door shining, grass wild but free. Tim's not just a kid anymore. He's the kid who caught the crooks. And that's pretty awesome. So here's the deal, Tim was just a kid. Not a grown-up, not a cop, not a superhero with a cape, just a 12-year-old with a phone and a hunch. A hunch is like a little feeling in your tummy that says, hey, something's not right. And Tim's hunch was big. He didn't have fancy tools or muscles like a wrestler. All he had was his cracked screen phone, his sneaky feet, and a brain that wouldn't quit. But guess what? That was enough. He didn't back down, not when Buzz and his buddy banged on the door, not when they scared his mom, not when they waved that big padlock. Tim stood up, and he won. Think about that for a second. Tim's short, he barely reaches his mom's shoulder. He's skinny, with holey sneakers and a messy hoodie. He's not the loudest kid or the strongest. But he had something special inside him. Sometimes, the smallest person in the fight has the biggest heart. Tim's heart was huge. It was full of love for his family, his new house, and a little bit of mad, too. Mad at those fake jerks who tried to take it all away. And his eyes? They were sharp, like a hawk's. He saw stuff, little stuff, like Buzz hiding the van or peeling off that dumb batch. Those sharp eyes turned him into a hero. Let's rewind a bit. Imagine you're Tim. You're 12, you just moved into a cool new house, and everything's awesome. Then these mean guys show up, saying, "Get out, this isn't yours." Your mom's scared, your little sister's hugging her teddy bear, and you're just a kid with a soccer ball. What do? Do you hide? Do you cry? Do you let them win? Not Tim. He watched. He waited. He sneaked out at night with his phone, hiding in a bush like a ninja, snapping pics that changed everything. That's guts. That's heart. That's not giving up. Now, think about your life. Maybe no one's trying to lock your house, but maybe someone's pushing you around. Like a bully at school who calls you names, or a kid who says you can't play with them. Maybe it's a big kid who takes your lunch, or a teacher who doesn't listen when you try to explain something. It feels bad, right? Like you're small and they're big, and you can't do anything. But Tim's story says you can. You don't need to be tall or loud or super strong. You just need a little hunch and a lot of brave. Let's make it fun. Picture this. Say you're at recess, and a big kid steals your ball. He's laughing, tossing it to his friends, and you're standing there, mad but small. What would Tim do? He wouldn't punch. He's not silly like that. He'd watch. He'd see how the big kid always drops the ball near the slide. He'd wait, sneak over, grab it back, and run. Or maybe he'd tell the teacher with a big smile, "I saw him take it, check his bag." That's Tim, smart, sneaky, brave. You can be like that too. Next time someone tries to push you around, think of Tim. You've got a heart and eyes to use them. Here's something cool, the ones who look down on you. The ones who think you're too little or too quiet. They might not see you coming. Buzz didn't see Tim coming, not at all. He thought Tim was just a dumb kid, someone to ignore while he scared Lisa and locked the house. Big mistake. Tim was quiet, sure, but he was watching. He was planning. And when he stepped out with that phone, saying, "Smile for the camera," Buzz's smirk fell right off his face. Boom. Tim flipped it all around. Those big, mean guys didn't expect a kid to beat them. That's the trick. When people think you're nothing, you've got the surprise on your side. Let's talk about surprises for a minute. Surprises are awesome, right? Like when you open a present and it's exactly what you wanted, or when your mom says, "Guess what? Pizza for dinner." Tim was a surprise, a walking, talking, phone-holding surprise. He didn't look tough, but he was. He didn't yell, but he won. You can be a surprise too. Maybe you're quiet in class, but you draw the best pictures. Maybe you're small, but you run super fast. Maybe you're shy, but you've got ideas no one's thought of. That's your power, your sneaky, awesome power. People might not see it coming, but you do. Now, let's dream a little. What if you were in Tim's shoes? Picture it, you're in your new house, boxes everywhere, and these fake cops show up. Bang, bang, bang. "Get out," they yell. Your mom's on the phone, your little brother's scared, and you're just you. What would you do? Would you hide under your bed? Would you call your best friend for help? Or would you grab your phone, sneak out, and catch M like Tim did? Maybe you'd do something different like tell the neighbors, or make a sign that says, "This is my house." There's no wrong answer, it's your story. But Tim's story says you don't have to sit there and take it. You can fight back, your way. Here's a secret, everyone's got a Tim inside them. Yep, even you. You might not feel it all the time, maybe you feel small or scared sometimes, but it's there. It's that little voice that says, "I can do this." It's the part of you that stands up when someone's mean, or helps a friend who's sad, or tries again when you mess up. Tim found his Tim when Buzz pushed too far. You can find yours too. It's not about being big, it's about being you. Let's think about Tim's family for a sec. Lisa was scared, but she kept trying. She called the lawyer, found the papers, held it together. Mia was little, but she hugged Tim and cheered him on. They all helped, in their way. You've got people too, your mom, your dad, your brother, your best buddy. They're your team. When someone pushes you, they've got your back, just like Lisa and Mia had Tim's. And sometimes, you're the Tim for them, the one who steps up and saves the day. Cool, huh? Now, let's get real. Life's not always bullies and fake cops. Sometimes it's little stuff like losing your favorite pencil, or forgetting your homework, or tripping in front of everyone. It's still hard, though. Tim's story isn't just about catching crooks, it's about not giving up. He didn't give up when Buzz kept coming back. He didn't give up when his mom was scared. He didn't give up when it got dark and sneaky. You don't have to give up either. Next time something's tough, think, what would Tim do? Maybe he'd laugh, maybe he'd sneak, maybe he'd just keep going. You can too. What did you think of that twist? That part where Tim said, "Smile for the camera," and Buzz's face went all white? Wasn't that wild? I bet you didn't see it coming. Buzz sure didn't. Tell me in the comments what was your favorite part. Did you like the video part, or the cops showing up, or Tim's big grin? I wanna know. And here's a fun one, what would you have done in Tim's shoes? Would you grab a phone? Yell at Buzz? Hide and wait? Drop it below, I can't wait to read it. Let's finish strong. Tim's just a kid, like you. He's not perfect, he trips over his sneakers sometimes, forgets to brush his hair, probably leaves socks on the floor. But he's got heart, and he's got eyes that see stuff. You've got that too. So next time someone tries to push you around, big or small, loud or quiet, remember Tim. Stand up, watch close, and surprise them. The ones who look down on you. They'll never see you coming. And that's the best part of all. Let's keep rolling with Tim's big lesson. He showed us something awesome. You don't need to be the biggest or the loudest to win. You just need to be you, brave you, smart you, sneaky you. Think about animals for a minute. A lion's big and roars loud, right? Everyone runs when they hear it. But what about a mouse? A mouse is tiny, super quiet, and sneaks around. It can grab a crumb right under your nose, and you'd never know. Tim's like that mouse. He didn't roar, he didn't growl, he just sneaked and won. You can be a mouse too, quiet but tricky, small but mighty. Here's a little story to make you smile. Imagine you're playing tag at school. There's this fast kid, let's call him Jake, who always tags everyone. He's tall, he's quick, and he brags, "No one can beat me." Everyone's scared to be it because Jake's too good. But then there's you. You're not the fastest, not the tallest, but you're clever. You hide behind the slide, wait till Jake's looking the other way, and bam, you tag him. He's shocked, mouth open, and everyone cheers. How'd you do that? He asks. You grin and say, "I watched you." That's Tim's trick: watching, waiting, winning. You've got that in you too. Let's try another one. Say you're at home, and your big sister takes your video game controller. "Mine now," she says, laughing. She's bigger, older, and thinks she's boss. You could yell, but she'd just laugh more. What would Tim do? He'd wait. He'd see she always leaves it on the couch when she gets a snack. So, you sit quiet, watch her go to the kitchen, and swoop, controller's yours again. She comes back, confused, and you're playing like nothing happened. Sneaky, smart, Tim style. You don't need to be big, you just need a plan. Here's the cool part, Tim didn't know he'd be a hero at first. He was just a kid, unpacking boxes, kicking his ball, dreaming about bike rides. Then Buzz showed up, and Tim had to decide hide or fight. He picked fight, but not with fists. With his phone, his eyes, his guts. Life's like that sometimes. You're just chilling, then boom, something hard happens. Maybe your dog runs away, or you flunk a spelling test, or a friend stops talking to you. It's not fake cops, but it's still tough. Tim says, don't give up. You've got a phone or a pencil, or a smile, or a hug. Use it. Let's dream bigger. What if you're Tim, but it's not a house? Maybe it's a treehouse you built with your dad. You spent all summer nailing boards, painting it blue, making it yours. Then some mean kids say, this is ours, now get lost. They're bigger, louder, scarier. What do? Hide in your room? Tell your dad and hope he fixes it? Or do you timid watch them, see they sneak in at lunch, and set up a trap? Maybe a bucket of water over the door splash, or a loud whistle to scare 'em off. You don't need to be big, you need to be brave, like Tim. Now, let's flip it. What if you're not the one pushed? What if you see it? Like your friend at school, getting picked on. Some kid takes her backpack, tosses it around, laughs. She's quiet, head down, sad. You could walk away, it's not your fight. But Tim wouldn't. He'd help. Maybe he'd distract the bully with a silly joke, hey, your shoe's untied. And grab the bag back. Or he'd tell the teacher, calm and clear, with proof like, I saw it happen. You can be a Tim for someone else. That's double hero stuff, saving your house and your friend. Here's a fun thought, Tim's phone was old, cracked, not fancy. It wasn't some super gadget from a spy movie. But it worked. You don't need the best stuff to win, you need you. Got a beat-up bike? Ride it fast. Got a cheap pencil? Draw something cool. Got a little voice? Say something big. Tim didn't wait for a new phone or a grown-up to save him. He used what he had, right then. You've got stuff to look around. Your backpack, your shoes, your brain, it's all hero gear if you use it. Let's laugh a little. Picture Buzz's face again, white as snow, when Tim played that video. He thought he was so smart, so tough, with his padlock and his smirk. Nope. Tim, the kid he laughed at, turned him into a big baby. That's what happens when you pick on the wrong person. The ones who think they're better? They fall hard when you stand up. Imagine Buzz in jail now, no badge, no van, just a grumpy face. Tim's probably laughing about it, kicking his ball, eating a hot dog. Who's winning now? Here's a question, what's your hunch? Tim's was those guys are fake. What's yours? Maybe I can do this math, or I'll make a new friend, or I'm gonna win that race. Hunches are little seeds, they grow if you water 'em with brave. Tim watered his with sneaking out, snapping pics, calling the cops. What'll you water yours with? A smile? A try? A sneaky plan? It's up to you, but it's there, waiting to bloom. Let's play a game. Pretend you're Tim, but it's your adventure. Maybe it's a mystery at school, someone stealing snacks from the lunchroom. You're not the teacher, not the principal, just you. What do? Hide and watch? Ask sneaky questions? Leave a fake cookie with a note, gotcha? And catch 'em? Tim would. He'd use his sharp eyes, his quiet feet, his big heart. You can too, make your story, be the hero. It's not just Tim's world, it's yours. One more thing, Tim's not done. He's 12 now, but he's got years ahead. Maybe next time, he'll catch a bike thief, or help a lost dog, or stop a prank gone wrong. He's the kid who caught the crooks, but that's just the start. You're not done either. You're growing, learning, getting braver every day. Today it's a bully, tomorrow it's something bigger. Tim's story says you're ready, small or not, quiet or not, you're enough. So, what did you think of that twist? That moment when Tim said, smile for the camera, and Buzz went flop. Tell me in the comments, I bet it made you cheer. What was your favorite part? The sneaky pics? The cop cars? Tim's grin? And here's the big one, What would you have done in Tim's shoes? Grab a phone? Yell loud. Run fast? Drop it below. I wanna hear your hero move. Let's end with a cheer. Tim was just a kid with a phone and a hunch, but he didn't back down. Sometimes, the smallest person has the biggest heart and the sharpest eyes. Next time someone pushes you, think of Tim. The ones who look down on you. They won't see you coming. You're a surprise, a spark, a mouse with a roar. Go be awesome, you've got this.